Hey everybody, thanks for watching Mike and Olive Review Things.
My name's Olive and this is my dad, Mike.
And we're really excited. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and we just got out of a movie, and we're very excited to talk about it.
And it is called Frozen 2.
Frozen 2. This has been 6 years in the making. In fact, I checked my Facebook memories today, and it said that we saw the first Frozen 6 years ago today. So you are almost 2. It was not your first movie, but it was one of your first movies. Do you remember anything about going to see Frozen 2 in the theaters?
Yes.
What? What?
We got to see Megan and Michael.
No, not what you saw. Not what you remembered today. What you remembered to see.
You said Frozen 2.
Okay. Do you remember anything about seeing the first Frozen in the theater? You were almost 2. That's what I meant to say.
No.
All right, so one of my favorite memories of all time with Olive happened during the first run of Frozen when we went and saw it. We knew nothing about it. I don't think we'd even seen a trailer, but we were in my hometown on Thanksgiving and we went and saw it, and you loved it, and the songs were amazing. I mean, everybody's seen Frozen. It's great. But toward the end of the movie, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, the first one, there's a scene where Anna freezes and everybody's like, Anna, Anna, Anna. You stood up in the theater and you yelled, Anna.
No.
Yeah, you did. You yelled it. It was awesome. It was hilarious. So that was one of our first favorite moments from Olive. And then one of my least favorite moments of ever from Olive was when you were like 3. We owned the DVD. And Molly was out of town. I was out to lunch or out to dinner with a friend. And do you remember what I'm going to say now?
Yes.
And
I kept wanting to watch Frozen.
You kept wanting to watch Frozen on my phone, and I didn't have Frozen on my phone. We had DVD of it. This was way before Disney Plus, and you would not stop screaming that you want to watch Frozen. And this is not the way she usually acted at restaurants. And our food came, and you were still crying about watching Frozen. And I took a $20 bill out and I left it on the table and I picked her up and I left the restaurant. And I said to my friend, bye, see ya, maybe never ever again. And then we went home and you cried and I put you in your bed and you still cried. And then I came in with the copy of Frozen and I said, hey, I'm throwing this away. And you cried more and more and more. I did not throw it away. I didn't actually throw it away, but we didn't watch it for we didn't watch it for 6 months after that. So that was our Frozen stories. What do you think of the original Frozen?
I like it more than Frozen 2.
All right, there you go. Right away. Frozen, original Frozen, better than Frozen 2. Yeah, I mean, Frozen, the first Frozen's so good. The songs are incredible. The story's great. It was very surprising. I think the ending with everybody expecting it to be like True Love's Kiss is it's a princess movie, but it turns out to be true love from your sister, and it was awesome. Frozen was a great, great movie, and so obviously they were gonna do a second one, and so we saw the second one today. And the good news is that I don't think it was just like a money grab. So a money grab and a sequel is like, oh, we can make a lot of money off this, so let's just put it out there. They worked on it for 6 years, but just like any sequel of a movie that really deserves to have one and is really good, it's really tough to top it. So you don't think they did? You don't think it was better than the first one?
There was mostly just one part that I didn't like about it.
Okay, what did you not like?
That this is kind of a spoiler, but I wish I could tell you.
You can tell it. I'll just cut it out if it's too much of a spoiler.
So in Frozen 2, Kristoff loves Anna, and we mostly don't see him for the whole entire end of the movie, mostly. Well, middle of the movie.
So you don't like that we didn't get to see Kristoff more?
Yes, because if you... Okay, so he'd been trying to propose to her, and he was mostly like cut out almost the
There's a
whole entire movie.
there's a miscommunication, and they all get separated.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of fun at the beginning because all of them get to hang out together. Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf. Like they even have a family portrait. It's like really sweet. And so you're like, oh, this is great. They're all together. But then, I mean, eventually they all have to go on their separate ways. They all get separated. There's got to be conflict. And so the conflict of this is really trying to figure out. You find out a lot more about the backstory about Elsa's powers. I never really questioned it, but I guess it was like, okay, this will be the plot. Is where did Elsa's powers come from, and how did it affect her family, and what happened? And so it's a kind of a new story. There's a whole new nation of people, I guess, that, I mean, there's not really too much to say about the story. We don't need to spoil it there, but just that, yeah, they get into a situation where they have to save Arendelle again. So the things that I didn't like about it was I just don't think it was as fun. It just was not. It was way more serious. Like, I really like fun, happy, bubbly Anna. Kristen Bell is incredible. She's great in this as well. But they also had a bunch of fun songs in the first one. I don't think any of the songs were nearly as fun. Would you agree with that?
Yes. And also,
I think the songs are really good. I just don't think they're as fun and funny. Like, we didn't. Do you remember laughing in the movie? I laughed 2 or 3 times. Whereas I think the first one there was a lot more laughter.
I do. It's just I'm trying to remember the part that
You don't have to say the
funny.
exact part. It's just, yeah. But
Yeah,
the first one's funnier, right?
Yes.
All right. So what did you like about it?
I liked that they figured out kind of where they're.
So the things that Olive liked, because we're probably gonna have to cut out a lot of that, or at least mute it. A lot of spoilers. There's a lot of backstory that they do go into. That is good. So the things that I like the most about it, I will say the songs I think will become catchy once we listen to them a little bit more. But definitely Kristoff's song was my favorite part. Kristoff's song when he was Lost in the Woods. I think it's called Lost in the Woods.
Yes, it is.
And he's singing about being in love with Anna. And it is an 80s power ballad. Even the way the video is, it's like a 1980s music video where he's singing into a pine cone, like those Journey and Bryan Adams and Whitesnake, these power ballads from the 80s. It's great. It's so perfect. And then Weezer does a cover of it during the credits as well. That was my favorite part. I'll probably go watch to see if they have that video right now on YouTube. So let's talk about if this movie was scary or not. It's a kids movie. Was there any scary parts to it?
I don't really know.
Were you ever scared?
No.
Okay, that's the answer. No, I don't think it's scary at all. I think there's probably a scene or two in the first one that's scarier, probably with the big marshmallow snow monster.
Marshmallow is the best character.
There might be some scary moments for the giant earth giants, the giant rock monsters, but it's really not that scary. In fact, we went with friends of ours that have a 3-year-old and.
Or 1-year-old too.
Well, and a baby. She was fine. Well, no, not fine, but she was a baby.
And she was also.
But let me get to the point. When we were leaving, his dad was like, "What did you like best about the movie?" And he was like, "The giant rock monsters." So he's young, and he thought that part was the best part. So yeah. So I don't think it was that scary. What?
Okay, ask.
What are our grades? What are we giving it? What's our rating?
I'm giving it in 7 and Frozen 1 8.
So Frozen 1's only an 8. Okay, so I would give the first Frozen a 9. I would give this second one a 7 as well. So we're both even on that with 7s.
Kind of.
As sequels go, I mean, there's very few sequels that exceed the original. This one does a very good job. I mean, they try to make the songs, I think, very similar to the first one, where everybody gets their chance There's probably 2 songs that Idina Menzel gets to sing, that gets the belts out like Let It Go. Those will probably be big hits. Once again, Kristoff's song. Kristen Bell was great. She had a big song as well that was a more serious song. I think she's a little better when she's a little bit more fun and bubbly though. So that is our review of Frozen 2. So I think people will probably go see it no matter what we say. And so, yeah, I mean, I think you probably go in with high expectations because it's a Frozen movie, but it's fine. It's good. I mean, it was packed. The theater was packed, and it's going to do well. It's going to be fun. So, thanks for watching this episode of Mike and Olive Review Things.
Bye!
Bye. Check us out. We'll be back with a lot more reviews.